So I'm Will, I've been doing parkour and free running for 7 years now and I'm 17 years old.
My name is Charlie Benson and I discovered parkour and free running 5 years ago.
Please give an overview of the sport and what is it and how do you feel it's different to other sports online?
So growing up I really felt that team sports didn't reflect who I was as a person because they were so restricted in their rules.
It's different because there's no competition.
Parkour is completely different to that because you can do whatever you want, really. So that's why I do it.
It's solely about your own progression in the sport. You're trying to adapt to an environment, an urban environment, and be creative in movement. So you're trying to make the most out of your physical capabilities. I think of parkour as a sport where you are trying to take back the environment, the urban environment that's been built with rules such straightforward rules like walk up this ramp or walk up these stairs. You've got to take it back and be creative with your movement. Like you can run along a wall or you can jump across it. It's not just following society's rules, and there's so much freedom in the sport. So the whole point of parkour is the most creative way you can get from point A to point B, and it's how you do it, and it's just so free. You can do whatever you want, and it's all about movement.
So parkour is getting from A to B in your environment as efficiently as possible. It's a lot more creative than other sports.
How did you first discover parkour and free running? How did you begin training?
I don't believe I just discovered parkour, I just believe that I've always done it. I think everyone does it to an extent because we've all been playing in our lives, we've all played, and it's just not stopping doing that and taking it to a higher level.
Well, some of my friends went to this gym where you jump off some mats, and I loved that, and I learned to do flips and tricks, which isn't quite parkour but it can be integrated into it. But from that I learned about control of my physical self.
I saw a video in 2008 called Jump Britain, which was basically sort of the original people going out and filming. And ever since then I've just gone out and jumped on walls until I got better, you know.
It just gave me passion for the sport, and I just wanted to progress in it. But I spent 2 years mainly doing flips and tricks, and I stopped for a year. I didn't really enjoy it anymore. But then I discovered that parkour isn't just flips and tricks and going upside down. It's getting from a point to a different point, learning how to use all the strength in your body. So you don't have to do flips and tricks all the time. You can learn how to use full precision in your movement, and you can learn how to get all the power out of your movement that is possible, and that's why I love it.
Do you have any tips for beginners?
Starting parkour, I think probably the best thing is don't just jump to advanced movement. Definitely stick with the basics because they're far more important than you think.
I believe that a lot of people, when they ask what parkour is, or when they think of parkour, they think of, oh, it's that thing where you jump on roofs all the time and like do all these dangerous stunts. When in reality that's about 1% of what we do. Most of what we do is spent literally on the ground, jumping on low things. Then you build up your levels of confidence to the point where you can take it higher.
If you learn how to land and disperse your energy without damaging yourself, that's one of the most important things. And if you learn how to roll without breaking your back, if you learn the basics, it's the best way to go. And so don't just look at a move online and try it, because you can really end up in hospital or damage yourself.
What are your thoughts regarding the health and safety?
It's you should be wise in what you do, so you should know what you're capable of before you do it. Before you do a jump, know if it's in your ability, otherwise you'll hurt yourself.
The amount of times I've heard someone say you're going to break your neck or you're going to fall off that roof is unreal.
Take calculated risks is my advice.
At the start I didn't know how to train properly, and now I've worked out more technique and I do conditioning like squats, weighted pull-ups to actually benefit my training. Now I don't get injured at all.
How do you feel the sport and athletes are viewed by the police and public, and why?
People are becoming more and more educated about the sport and what it actually entails. Originally, we used to get a lot of trouble from police people and things who just thought we were vandalising things or didn't understand what we were doing. But every time we go out, we have people, like just as many people, asking us what's going on.
Residents usually complain and they come out shouting at you. But if you explain what you're doing and they realise you're not actually breaking things, they most of the time will just stop and watch, or say you can take another take so you can film a move or something.
What do you think on the issue of trespassing? Like, is it needed to train?
No, you don't need to trespass to train. It's a civil offence, so it's technically illegal.
Parkour and trespassing are completely different things. Like, as I said before, you see all these videos of people on roofs and you think that's parkour, but it really isn't. It's a completely different thing.
Many people I know in parkour do look for spots, and in the way they scout, they trespass.
Where do you see yourself going with it in the future?
Of course the dream is to have it as a job, and I make money from it every once in a while, but I really just want to be able to do it for as long as I can.
Maybe into films as a stuntman. It's an extreme sport, it's an adventure, and it's adrenaline fueled. My future probably won't involve parkour as my income source. It's just a hobby. It's like karate. It's where I can be at one with my physical state and be in full control of my body as a hobby.
What is parkour to you?
Parkour to me, it's freedom from everyday life, it's self-improvement, it's a competition with yourself.
Parkour to me is like, it's a way to escape from the world. It's where I can just focus on one thing in one time. So if I'm jumping from one place to another, I'm only thinking about the jump. There's nothing in between. It's a way to be creative in your environment, and where you can have full coordination of your body, where you know exactly where your hands are and your feet are, so your placement is perfect every time, so you can make the most out of your physical state.
Do you feel that since beginning to train in the sport, your perspective on life and how you view the world has changed?
It's changed my view on the world, because if I look at a stairwell, for example, I see it as a place where I can be creative. It's not just walk down there. You can drop down these railings, or you can jump across here, or whatever, but it's a different view of the world. If I see some walls, I can see a running jump over a street or something like that.
Do I feel my perspectives have changed? Yeah, no, I do. I feel like I approach life in a completely different way now. I feel that whenever I go out, I feel more confident with approaching any problem I have, because I've had myself at levels of high stress in parkour. So why should I be so stressed in real life?